Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, want to make a difference in a young person's life? We'll tell you how. Then, it's time for spring cleaning your teeth. We'll discuss how this helps defeat dental disease. Your parents need help, but you aren't always available. We'll share a resource that provides services. Plus, we'll elect to share fun and frustrating stories from the front lines of the campaign trail. And you just finished raising your children, and now you're parenting your parents. We'll offer advice.
It's time to get GOing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Even in the best situations, adopted children or children living with family members that aren't their parents can still feel a need for connection. And Robert Gibbons says you might be able to provide it. Gibb is the Family Support Coordinator for Adoption Network Cleveland. So welcome to our show.
Thank you.
The program we're talking about is called Embrace.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
tell us about it.
Well, Embrace is a mentoring program. It's fairly new, and our goal is to put a caring adult in the lives of a youth that's living in an adoptive family or a kinship family. So it's relatively new, and we've done mentoring for a long time, but this provides us a chance to really provide something new to families that really are going to benefit from our.
Okay. And a lot of these kids have people coming and going.
Yes,
so is this
yes.
meant to be more of a long-term relationship?
Yes. We're hoping that our mentors, the adults, can commit to a long-term relationship. We feel it's very important for youth, especially these youth, to have some people commit to them in their lives, and this is what we're looking for.
So why is it called Embrace?
Embrace. Well, Embrace stands for Enhanced Mentoring, Building Relationships, and Cultivating Experiences. So our focus is on the relationship and on the mentor just doing fun and exciting things and expanding the youth's horizons in a sense.
Okay, so give us some details on how it actually works.
Well, we look for the mentors, and then they go through a procedure, and in that procedure they get approved, and there's interviews and fingerprinting and that kind of a thing, but we're looking for just someone caring that can commit, and they go through the approval process, and after they're approved, the youth go through a similar procedure, and then we match them.
Kind of pair them together with the right personalities and things like that. Okay.
Yes.
And how often do they meet?
Well, we are hoping that that works for them to get together twice a month is what we're looking for. Depending upon youth, the older they get, the harder that is to actually manage. But we're asking the adult to commit to twice a month to have face-to-face interactions and just do fun things with them.
And what say does the youth have in this organization?
Oh, they have complete say. Their parents, their families might encourage them strongly to participate, but we interview them, we make sure that they're on board and that they're eager and wanting to have. And at any time, we're monitoring the relationship as it unfolds. And if there's any reason that the youth feels it's not appropriate, we would honor their request. They have full volunteering just as the adult would. Okay,
so it's kind of like Big Brothers, Big Sisters?
Yes, it's similar to Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and maybe a little bit more in that we are asking for the longer-term commitment, and our population's a little bit more specific to these families that have either adopted or kinship youth in them.
Okay.
So.
And you say you monitor it. So what kind of response have you had to the program so far?
We've got great response. I mean, the monitoring is from after a match is made to having continued interaction with not only the mentee and the mentor, but also the adoptive family. And what we find is that the youth are very excited and like to have the extra attention. And we provide probably twice a year, we provide surveys to check on everything. And in finding the results of that, the youth are always so positive about their relationship with the mentor. The mentor always feels like, or often feels like, I'm not doing enough, you know. So
I think that's how I would feel. Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
nice to
'cause
know that the kids are loving it, even
the
if
kids are loving it. Yeah, yeah. And we get very positive feedback from the families too. So I think it's one of those win-win situations. You
Any
know?
age limits on mentors? 'Cause
They
I'm
have
sure
to
you're
be
looking for them.
21. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they must be 21, and that's the main. Credential, and then they have to go through some fingerprinting and some of those kinds of things to be approved. But age, no. We have an amazing gentleman, 77 years old. He's mentored at least 3, I think 4 youth across 12 years that he's done this with us. And he's maintained relationship as long as the youth will tolerate. Sometimes when the youth age,
right,
yeah,
they're
they
done.
kind of even my own children are. They go through periods where they push away, but he's there for them, and he's been very close, especially to the one.
Good.
And and we're expecting the same kind of results with this new program targeting this population.
Great information.
Yes.
Connecting and mentoring with a child in an adoptive or kinship home can be so meaningful, not only for the youth, but for the adult volunteer as well. To learn more about the Embrace program or find out how you can volunteer, use the information that's coming up next. My thanks to Gib for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
For more information about the Embrace Mentor Program, call the Adoption Network Cleveland at 216-325-1000 or log on to www.adoptionnetwork.org. Next, spring into action. But first, if you're on the sea or in the air and any issues arise, you commence calling Mayday. But why is that word your go-to for getting help? We'll tell you the translation of the term when we return.
I developed a hearing loss, and so I called Jane and said, I'm having problems hearing on the telephone. So sure enough, I needed hearing aids.
My sons, daughters, I kept saying, what places I go, like international trips, I want to be able to hear. There's nothing better than hearing a lion roar, monkeys howler, monkeys screeching in the morning. So that's what I really enjoy, the sounds, the sights.
Call 440-205-8848.
Mayday originally was the French phrase Mayday, and yes, they sound the same. In French, Mayday means help me, and now Mayday means the same thing, no matter what language you speak.
The first day of spring is almost here, so it's time to spring into action and do some spring cleaning. And we promise it was going to make you smile with a little help from dentist Steve Marsh. He's here with tips to help keep your teeth in top shape.
Hi,
So
Lori.
welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Now, we were kind of being cute there in the introductory part, but keeping your teeth clean is really an important concern.
Yeah, and especially important as we get older. Food that not only causes the breakdown of food, doesn't always only cause decay, but if you get food between the teeth and into the gum area around the bone, that's what causes periodontal disease. The acids from foods break down the bone and break down the tissue, and teeth can get loose. So it's even more important as we get older to take care of our teeth even better.
That really means brushing and flossing, right?
Yeah, so let's talk about brushing. Brushing, I'm very big on electronic toothbrushes because it's easier just to hold it and let it do the work. But either way, whether it's a manual, you need to keep the teeth clean. So let's talk about flossing. So I need to give you an analogy. When you're younger and your teeth are close together, floss goes very well between the teeth to clean them out. As we get older, we get spaces, the tissue moves down, and that's where we advocate these brushes because it almost gets triangular and you can go in between. If you have floss there, it goes around it, but you really need to get in between.
Correct.
So we're really big on these little brushes. If it's a smaller space, you use a smaller brush. And then if it's bigger, you can use the other. You can also take them with you, and if your spouse doesn't mind, you can clean your teeth in the car. No,
Is there any help for people, though, if you do end up with getting some of that gum diseases?
Absolutely. So many times it involves restorative work. It can be crowns, it can be veneers to close the space, and sometimes it's bonding. And the best way to show it is just with some photos of befores and afters. So this is a woman, you can see her lower teeth have shifted. We've talked before on the show how as we get older, our teeth tend to move. She also had chipped some upper front teeth. She was actually in a wedding, and she said, I need to do something. So food was getting caught on the lower teeth. We reshaped them. We did a little bonding. And the upper teeth that were now out of alignment, she was catching a lot of debris between teeth. So we used some bonding to not only lengthen, but to close spaces. And she said, oh my gosh, it was like instant orthodontics. We did that in about 2 hours. And then here's a much more severe case. Interesting, a golden opportunity viewer. He came into me specifically. I got this emergency call, a new patient. He had fractured a front tooth. He was actually really good about keeping his teeth clean and went between the teeth, and over the years, spaces had developed. So now he comes in, he had talked, what can I do in this case? And I don't want to keep getting food caught. On the bottom, you can see, Lori, this is an all porcelain bridge. It's called zirconium. And you can see how beautiful it is. It's closed the spaces, it's built his teeth back up, it's given them strength so they're not fracturing. And so you see that after in this picture. This is the bridge on the model. And the reason I wanted to show it is you can see pink porcelain that we've added between the teeth. So if we made them normal size, no pink porcelain, it would have still been a food trap. With the pink porcelain, we're able to eliminate that.
And it looks so much more realistic.
Thank you. An interesting case. So this isn't even space and turning, but the teeth had rotated, stained, hadn't been to the dentist for years, took care of his kids and family. This is a space that he used a removable appliance. He wanted something permanent. That's an all porcelain bridge. We reshaped the lowers. He also said it's about time I made him brighter and nicer. He's in front of the public all the time. So this enabled him to not only not catch food and get stained, but gave him the smile that he had always, always wanted.
Amazing differences, and I'm sure it changes the personality of those people.
Yeah, and there's no time to look at it like spring, to get things cleaned and then maintained.
All right. To greet the spring season with a smile, be sure to take proper care of your teeth. For help, give Steve a call. His number's next.
See what Dr. Stephen Marsh can do for your smile by calling 440-461-1003 or visit www.clevelandsmiles.com. Next, Care on Call. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. All aboard for a grape escape. The Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Railroad will treat you to a 2-hour wine tasting while traveling on the train. Each wine will be paired with a tasty treat. To pore over the details or to purchase tickets, call 800-468-4070 or log on to www.cvsr.com.
The phone rings. It's your mom. She needs you to take her to the grocery store. Another call. This time it's your dad. He almost fell in the bathtub. You try to rush over there every time, but with work, family, and life, you can't always be there for them. But who else would you trust? Linda Barth is here with one option. Linda is the owner of Daughters on Call. So welcome to our show.
Thank you.
So there's a lot of daughters, including me, that feel like they're on call all the time. So is that how you got the name for this business?
Pretty much. We realized that daughters and sons wish they could be with their parents, siblings that need help at all times, but that just isn't possible. So it actually came about with the other business that I own, which is a cleaning service, and you build up a rapport with the clients because they're used to seeing the same people. And as our clients started to age, they ask us to do more things around the house to help them keep their independence in the home. And we went from there.
Got a little bit extra training, and there you go.
Yes.
Brand new business, right?
Yes.
And also you had a personal experience with your mom that also kind of led you in this direction, right?
I did. I sort of made it a mission of mine because my mother needed home care, and additional help, and I saw the pros and cons and tried to build the business around that.
Personal experience really helps.
Yes.
Now, when people are looking for home care, what kind of things should they be looking at?
The best, in my opinion, is you need an agency that deals with trained staff, usually ones that are state tested. And a very important thing is you try to match the caretaker with the client, because everybody has different personalities, and if you have someone who's talkative or shy or quiet, you want to make sure that the caretaker blends well with that person and that they get along. Also, good rapport with the clients as far as spot checking, having good communication with them once a week is a way to maintain a good balance, to make sure everything's going in the right direction and everybody's on the same page.
Okay, what kinds of help are available?
Bathing, cooking, cleaning, grooming, personal hygiene, transportation, reading, anything that helps the client maintain.
But it's non-medical stuff, right?
Is non-medical.
Okay. So do people come, do you usually cater to people who need someone every day, or is there a variety of different ways that it can be set up?
It depends. There are some people that are short-term, say they've had a hip replacement, and it's a short-term job. There's others that need full-time care daily, and others may be just a companionship, somebody that, say they have macular degeneration and they can't read, they need help with that, and so we try to send the right people for the right job.
Okay. Sounds like a great business and going to be growing.
It is.
Your parents know that you're just a call away, but many times they need more home care than you can give. For peace of mind and to find out more, use the information that's coming up next. My thanks to Linda for joining us today.
Thank you.
Find out more about Daughters on Call by calling 330-212-7299 or click to www.daughtersoncall.com. Up next, political maneuvers. It's time to get up and go, an exercise segment on golden opportunities.
Hello everybody, it's Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and today we're here to show you how to work the lower abdominals and even the hip flexors. This is an excellent exercise that's going to help strengthen that core everybody's talking about. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, we're going to start lying flat on the ground. Here in the studio, we have our exercise mats out. You at home, go ahead, grab a spot on the floor and try this one out. We're going to lay flat, make sure you keep your head back. We want our hands to the side just for a little support. And all we're going to do is we're going to keep our right leg nice and stiff, and we're going to bring it up to about a 90-degree angle, okay? We're going to drop it back down right before it touches. Try to bring it straight back up. All right, we're going to shoot for 12 to 15 repetitions, and then we can go ahead and switch sides. Excellent. How you feeling, Lori?
Oh, feel the burn.
There
Stretch.
you go.
Yes.
You're on your way to a stronger core. All right, slow and controlled movements, everybody. Remember to breathe. And now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
Every type of career has war stories. Still, it's not hard to believe that you would find unique kind of stories in politics. And that's what Jerry Austin has done. He's brought together a bunch of behind-the-scenes stories about elections, leaders, and the democratic process, and bound them in his book, True Tales from the Campaign Trail, stories only political consultants can tell. Today, Jerry has elected to join us and share the winning results. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I thought I'd first tell you a story about one of my most famous campaigns, Jesse Jackson for president in 1988. He had run in 1984. And what you learn is that you have to establish credibility initially with the press corps. He never ran a TV spot in 1984. So it was important in 1988 that we go on TV early, and early meant Iowa, which is the first contest. So I took him to a studio, put him in front of a camera, wrote a 30-second spot. He was terrible.
Oh,
because
no.
his forte is talking to thousands of people for a half an hour, not for 30 seconds.
Right.
So I said, what am I going to do now? I went back to Chicago where my office was. I found a videotape on my desk, which I'd never seen before, ran it and found that there were two farmers who had said Jesse Jackson was who they were supporting for president in Iowa. I made that into a spot, ran it in every state that we had farmers in. And they all thought that those farmers were from their state. They weren't, they were from Missouri. And later on, I was in New York and ran into some guy named Spike Lee. He wasn't as famous as he is now, but he said, I would like to do a TV spot for Mr. Jackson, and I'd like you to write it, and I'll direct it, and we'll produce it together. And I thought, well, Jesse Jackson's not good at 30 seconds to the camera. This is Spike Lee.
He's got to be able to make him look good, right?
Yeah, he was, he was the best at the time. And so we did this spot. I put it on the air, and he called me up and said, how are we doing? I said, I took it off. He said, what do you mean you took it off? I said, people were calling up the TV station saying Jesse Jackson looks too big because he's a big man and you have to put a flak jacket on, and as you know, you photograph 15 pounds heavier on TV. So he said to me, I'm shocked. I said, well, he's not very good to the camera. He said, how do you know that? I said, I tried it in Iowa. He said, well, why didn't you tell me that? I said, because you're Spike Lee. And he said, well, you're Jerry Austin. You should have known better. You should have told me. So he never went on 30 seconds.
Oh, well. But he just continued to run his campaign a different way then. And some candidates on the trail have very specific requests as to maybe hotel details.
We could call it a specific request. Some of these folks are goofy. And this one story is from a consultant named Gary South. The Senate race he was doing in Illinois for a candidate named Alex Seith. And this guy insisted that whenever they were on the road, he has to have a room with 2 double beds. Was there another person in the room? No, he had a room with 2 double beds. So they arrive at some small town at 2 or 3 in the morning, and greeted by the staff, and they were very happy to say, we've upgraded you, to a suite with a king size bed. Oh no! I have to have a double beds in my room. I have to have double beds. And he calls up the scheduler at 2 o'clock in the morning, wherever she was housed, asking her to fix this. And he said, she said, well, you're there, you fix it. And he eventually, acquiesced to having, a double, a king-size bed, and didn't understand they were just basically upgrading him.
Yeah. Some people are crazy about that. You've got another story here. We have just room for one more.
Well, this story is about Tip O'Neill, famous Speaker of the House, and by the way, one of the people I've met in my life that lived up to every expectation of what I wanted him to be. He was a wonderful human being. But Tip O'Neill believed that all politics was local, and what he would do when he was running for Congress is, if there was an older woman on his block, he would shovel her walk and shovel her driveway whenever it snowed. And one day, election day, he said, well, Mrs. Ryan, did you vote for me? And she said, no, I didn't vote for you, Tip. You didn't vote for me? Well, why not? He said, because you never asked me to vote for you. And that was a lesson that many politicians have learned: always ask for the vote.
Absolutely. And you've got lots more stories like that in your book, huh?
Lots.
All right. From small town campaigns to presidential politics, True Tales from the Campaign Trail celebrates the best and funniest stories of American politics, shared by the people who have made politics their life's work. My thanks to Jerry Austin for telling a few of those tales to us today. Thanks.
Thank you.
To learn more about Tales from the Campaign Trail or to order the book, call University of Akron Press at 800-247-6553 or visit www.uakron.edu/UAPress. Next, parental problems.
I'm Dr. Stephanie Christian of Timeless Laser and Skincare. We help men and women achieve healthy, radiant skin at any age. Because when you feel good about how you look, it changes everything.
The all-new TrueSculpt 3D is a revolutionary, non-invasive body sculpting technology that diminishes fat. We can now offer our patients impressive results and comfort throughout the procedure. Get the look you want with TrueSculpt 3D.
Visit us in Westlake or at timelesslaserskin.com.
When you were young, your parents looked out for you, and even as you grew into a young adult, your parents hopefully gave you advice to avoid mistakes as you faced new challenges. Now, for many of you, your parents are facing new challenges of their own, and you may need to add your guidance to their life. Here to discuss 4 issues of a child parenting their parent is my law partner, Michael Solomon.
Hello, Lori.
So, hey there, Mike. It seems almost insulting, though, if you think of it that way. I mean, someone, just because they're older doesn't mean they're incompetent or they can't handle things.
Well, I'm not really saying that, but, for example,
think about someone who's born in 1940 and how much technology has changed over the decades. So a lot has changed, and if your parents on the internet, they could have their information stolen, and they may not even realize it's stolen. It's that, so many scams out there. The CIA and NSA have had their information stolen, so your parents are going to be able to have their information stolen.
Yeah, they've been hacked, so your parents.
And they may never know it. So what I recommend is maybe hire a consultant or someone to come by and look at all their devices and make sure everything is loaded on there that protects them from any sort of scams or internet scams, things like that.
Okay. Any other parenting advice for our parents?
Well, some of this we've talked about before is legal documents, very important. So one document we've talked on the show before is a durable power of attorney for finances. So, when you were a child, your parents could sign all your paperwork and handle your bank accounts and all that, but you can't do that for your parents unless they give you a legal document, a power of attorney, giving you the authority to handle the sale of their house or any of their bank accounts, signing tax returns. It's a very important document that you should have. And then make sure your parents tell you where it is, because if they've hidden it, it doesn't do any good.
What's your next issue?
Well, the next issue is, again, with health decisions. When you were a child, your parents could make all your medical decisions for you. Just because you're the child of the parent doesn't mean you have any rights to make their medical decisions. So you should have a healthcare power of attorney giving you the right, if your parents can't make the decisions themselves, to make medical decisions for them. And again, make sure the document's available so they can use it.
Always the most important piece. And then the fourth issue, last one.
This may be the toughest, and that is, people, their driver's license is very important to be able to drive. And as people get older, at some point, they may no longer be able to drive safely. No one wants to give up their driver's license. So you should have that conversation with your parent, but it's very, very difficult. You may not be able to convince them. If push comes to shove, then you might have to go to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles and actually turn them in. And that's going to have a rough result, because if they do investigate your parent's going to find out, and they're going to blame you, and you have those arguments. But it may be what you have to do.
Yeah, sometimes it's just necessary.
Yeah.
Parenting your parent might be important, but it also might be the most difficult experience you ever have. For help with the issues that Mike raised, give Mike a call. The number's next.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information, or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us today. Come back next week for more great information. But until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
If you'd like to join our kitchen conversation, visit our website, www.goldenopportunities.tv. Like us on Facebook. Call us at 440-742-GO-TV or email us at kitchen@goldenopportunities.tv. We'd love to hear from you.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.